All right, so you're thinking about becoming a roofing supervisor. Interesting. Maybe you're drawn to the hands-on work, the idea of leading a team, or maybe you're just curious about what it really takes.
It's definitely a career path worth exploring.
Well, get ready to dive into the nitty-gritty, because today we're going deep on this in-demand career with insights straight from RoleCatcher. They're like the ultimate career guide.
They really are. And let me tell you, this isn't just about hammering shingles.
Right, it's got to be more than that.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking next level project management, thinking on your feet, and making sure everyone on that roof is both safe and productive.
Okay, so it sounds like more than just being good with your hands, which you obviously have to be. RoleCatcher really emphasizes this whole other side of the job, the management aspect.
Absolutely. It's where meticulous attention to detail meets serious people skills.
I can only imagine.
Picture this. You're on a scorching hot roof, managing a crew, keeping the project on schedule and under budget.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a high-pressure balancing act.
Whoa. I can feel the sweat dripping already, and I'm not even on a roof. That's a fantastic point, though. This is demanding work. Speaking of which, RoleCatcher mentioned something interesting about technology's role in all of this. It's not your grandpa's roofing anymore, right?
Not at all.
What do they say?
They specifically mentioned software like RoofRite becoming essential tools for supervisors. Imagine. Tracking material deliveries, crew schedules, even client updates all in one place.
Wow.
That's the kind of efficiency that can make or break a project, and a supervisor needs to be on top of it.
So we've established there's a tech side to this, which I have to admit makes the whole thing even more intriguing. But what about climbing the career ladder itself? Like, where do you even start? Is it one of those fields where you kind of like work your way up?
You got it. You're not expected to just jump into the deep end right away.
Gee, that's good to know.
RoleCatcher actually does a nice job of breaking down that whole career path.
Oh, really? How do they lay it out?
You might start as an assistant, learning the ropes.
Right.
And then gradually you move up to running smaller projects.
Okay.
And then eventually you could be managing entire departments.
I love how they lay that out. It's like leveling up in a video game, but instead of collecting coins, you're collecting skills and experience.
Exactly. And just like in those games, there are milestones along the way. RoleCatcher actually goes into detail about the differences between, say, a junior supervisor and a senior supervisor.
No way they get that specific.
Oh yeah, they really break it down. A junior supervisor, they say, might focus on a single project at a time, while a senior supervisor could be juggling multiple projects and leading a larger team.
Wow, that's a whole other level.
Right. And they even mentioned that senior supervisors might be more involved in client relations and bidding on new projects.
So there's this whole strategic element too. You're not just working hard, you're working smart, making choices about where you want your career to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where certifications come in.
Oh, right. Certifications. They're important in a lot of fields, but especially something as specialized as this. What did RoleCatcher say about that?
They specifically highlighted the Certified Roofing Professional designation, the CRP.
The CRP. Got
Think
it.
of it as a way to, level up your credibility.
So it's not just about what you know, but being able to prove it. Imagine walking into an interview with that CRP on your resume. You're not just another applicant. You're someone who's invested in their skills and knowledge.
Precisely. It tells potential employers you're serious about this career, that you're committed to meeting industry standards.
Okay, so we've got the skills, the career path, but let's be real for a second. What about the pros and cons? Because like every job, it's got to have both.
For sure.
What did RoleCatcher say? Did they sugarcoat it at all?
No, actually, they were pretty upfront about it. Honesty is key, right?
Totally. And on the plus side, they highlight some pretty appealing perks.
Yeah, like what?
They talked about strong earning potential, high job security,
Oh, that's awesome.
and of course, the chance to work outdoors.
Can't forget that one. It's a big one for a lot of people.
Right. As someone who's stuck behind a microphone most days, I have to admit that last one has its appeal. Being out in the elements, getting some fresh air. But let's not forget about the flip side.
Right. It's not all sunshine and roses.
So what are we talking about? What did they say?
Well, roofing is demanding work. You're exposed to the elements. You're on your feet all day. RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from that.
Yeah, you got to be ready to work hard, that's for sure.
It's about finding the right fit, and that means being honest with yourself. Are you someone who thrives in a fast-paced, maybe even unpredictable environment?
Right, because every day is going to be different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable leading a team and making decisions on the fly? Those are all things to really consider.
It's that whole know thyself thing applied to your career. And speaking of being prepared, RoleCatcher really knocked it out of the park with their interview resources. They've got like this whole section dedicated to, just crushing those roofing supervisor interviews.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking calming questions they ask, tips on giving really strong answers. Like they even cover those tricky situations, like how to handle a difficult team member or if something goes wrong on a project.
It's like having a cheat sheet for the interview,
Right.
which is a huge confidence booster, I bet. Knowing how to address those tough questions,
For sure.
especially about, like, safety procedures or dealing with those on-the-job challenges.
Right.
It shows you're not just, winging it. You've actually thought about these things.
Totally. And speaking of those handy resources, let's talk about RoleCatcher's toolbox in general. I mean, they've got free career guides.
Oh, yeah?
They've got skill guides, interview guides. It's like a gold mine of information.
It really is. And it's all geared towards empowering job seekers. Like, for instance, they have this AI-powered CV and resume builder.
Really?
It helps tailor your application to highlight, the skills that matter most for that specific job you're going for.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know about you, but as someone who's stared down a blank resume page a few times,
Oh, tell me about it.
that feature alone would have me signing up.
Oh, 100%. Anything to make that process less painful, right?
Right.
And it doesn't stop there. They even have interview practice with AI feedback. So
Right.
you can like rehearse your answers and get pointers on how to improve before the big day. Talk about having a secret weapon.
It's like having a personal coach in your pocket. But you know what I found really interesting? RoleCatcher really emphasizes how the roofing industry itself is changing so rapidly.
Yeah, it's not just your dad's roofing industry anymore.
Exactly.
We talked about technology, obviously, but it's got to go beyond just software,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. They're talking about things like, solar panel installations,
Right.
green roofing systems, which, by the way, those are roofs covered with vegetation.
Oh, cool. I've heard of those. Yeah.
Yeah, to improve energy efficiency and reduce environmental impact, and even drone technology for inspections.
Drones. That's awesome.
The future is now,
The future of roofing is here.
right? And what does that mean for, like, aspiring roofing supervisors? More specialized roles, new skill sets in demand,
Okay.
and just a whole lot of opportunity for those who are, paying attention and ready to adapt.
It's not just about keeping up. It's about like getting ahead of the curve.
Exactly. So to everyone out there considering a career in roofing supervision, I really encourage you to, do your research, to dig a little deeper into these emerging trends.
Yeah, absolutely. What innovations in roofing technology are you most curious about? Do some digging. See what sparks your interest. Maybe we'll see you leading the charge in this evolving field.
That's what I'm saying.
Big thanks to RoleCatcher for all these amazing insights.
Super interesting stuff.
And to all of you listening, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll catch you next time.